does that make me then?
You're a policeman.
Hello, welcome to Premier Scene. I'm Claire Bueno as Irvine Welsh's Filth leaps from page to screen.
Scotland was such a uniquely successful race. This nation brought the world television, whiskey, and of course, me, Detective Sergeant Bruce Robertson.
You're not shy of doing hardcore scripts, but this one must go even deeper.
Well, it does, but I only ever do them if I think that they aren't gratuitous, if I think that there's a reason behind all the extreme factors of a script, you know. And I thought this was the same. I thought Jon is actually a very disciplined script. To have all those elements that people think are shocking, but to have reasons for them. Everything is justified, and if you have that, then you make a good film.
And with regards to the character that you're playing, what was it when you read about him that resonated with you, really?
Well, I think I just finished Tyrannosaur and everyone was terrified of me. So when they said, would you want to play a nice, sweet character? I said, yeah, all right, I'll do it.
You were filming up in Scotland. What was that experience like?
Well, it was great fun. I mean, we filmed in Scotland, in Germany, in Sweden, in Belgium. I enjoyed it. Blaisley's really the only English character in the film, and so he's abused by all the Scots. So I quite enjoyed it in a kind of sadomasochistic way. Actually, a lot of the Scottish actors are my friends, so I've worked with them a lot, so I enjoyed the banter.
And this is Jon's second feature film.
Yeah.
So what was that like? Is that because you're such a seasoned professional, you're working with somebody who's still very new to directing? Is that refreshing for you because he's got so much enthusiasm and passion for the craft?
That's exactly it. It's not. When you work with directors, the best ones to work with are the ones who are enthusiastic and have passion, and that goes for Spielberg, Mike Leigh, Michael Mann.
The best thing in it.
Hello, Jon.
Absolutely the best. One, I just said to somebody, Eddie, that you are going to... Eddie, yes. I just said, Eddie, darling. I just said to somebody, you are going to be one of the knights of the future. Eddie Marsan. We all learn from Eddie. He's a brilliant, brilliant actor.
I'll pay you later. Get your drink.
The check is in the post. He's a lovely man, Eddie. And, you know, apart from that horrible incident a few years ago with Goldfish, he's all right, really.
Well, there's a record.
We had a laugh. There you go. We had a laugh.
I would probably think on a film like this, you need to be able to just let loose and have a laugh.
We did have a laugh. We did. And Blaisley's a great character to have fun with. And me and James James was on a roll because he was so in the character and such a good actor. I had to up my game a bit, but we had a good fun with it.
What made you join the force, Bruce?
Police oppression, brother.
And you wanted to stamp it out from the inside?
No, I wanted to be a part of it.
With regards to Bruce, he's an unsympathetic character, and I just wondered whether you found it difficult to find something redeeming in him to play him.
No, yeah, there's nothing redeemable about him. We don't ever try to redeem him. We don't ever try to find forgiveness, actually, so that was easy. What we do try to do is condemn him. And the film condemns his actions, quite clearly. However, we do ask you to feel some sympathy for him. We do ask you to feel some kind of empathy and feel something. Whether it's sadness or not, I don't know, but we do ask you to wonder what it might be like to be in his shoes, because he's not that far away from most of us.
Well, with regards to his backstory, was it quite interesting for you and fun for you, actually, because he's so extreme, to build this backstory about him, to get him to the point where he is?
Yeah, no, it was interesting, and Irvine gives us most of that in his book, and Jon builds on that, and I help point it up a little bit by bringing some things out more. But it's really important that... Oi! Nah, fuck it, that's me getting ignored. Nightmare, been totally dinghied.
I want your attention.
I know, sorry.
So
yeah, no, it is. No, the backstory is really important, but it's always got to be warranted. You've always going to want to know the backstory as an audience instead of just having it thrown on you. So no, it was fun to more than actually figure out what the backstory is. Figure out what my backstory is, and figure out what it is in me that would make me behave that way. What would need to happen to me to make me feel that way.
Down the road I go.
Nobody plays the games like me.
Down the road.
You just have to be the best. And I usually am.
It's a great personal triumph for two guys. One's James McAvoy, obviously there. The other one's Baird, who just executed this film with tremendous aplomb, had a great game plan. Very smart guy. and he's a new kind of force in British film. You know, he's a kind of new boy. I get asked if, you know, comparing them to Danny Boyle and all that, and to me it's a bit like Danny Boyle, Andrew MacDonald and John Hodge rolled into one, because he produced, directed and adapted it, and an amazing talent, amazing guy, and another one there is James, obviously, and these two guys are kind of, they're two of the greatest talents to come out of this country, and it's just great to be working with them.
Is it as well for you a huge compliment, really, because it's so hard to get a film made, and so much time and love and passion that goes into it, that somebody cares so much for your work that they want to put that amount of effort into it.
It's like kind of, it's all, if you get a group of people collaborating to do, whether it's a film or a stage play or any interpretation, anything you do, it's a massive compliment. It's a massive compliment that people are moved by it to the point of wanting to invest their time and energy into it, you know, and sometimes, you know, some film adaptations or stage adaptations you do, they're really brilliant, they work, the whole world knows about them. Other ones, they might not work quite as well, they might have kind of maybe flawed in different ways, but they're still great in their own way, and it's still a compliment that people kind of get involved and do them, you know, so it's a very humbling thing, yeah.
With regards to Bruce Robertson, what was it about this man that you wanted to write this story of his journey into the depths, really?
Well, it's a guy who's basically, he's kind of lost love and he's looking for love, you know, and it's like, and I think that's his whole driving force, like, you know, and it's such a, it's like kind of, and it's a story that everybody can kind of relate to. It's like, you know, and it's like, and he appears in some ways as a monster. He's kind of reduced himself into this thing. And it's almost like the classic kind of, it's like the Greek tragedy thing. He falls on his own sword. Kind of nobody else does it to him. He does it to himself. And he kind of, and if you're looking for love, if you embrace things like kind of like racism and misogyny and kind of sectarianism, you're not really likely to find love, like, you know. So it's like that thing. He's picked the wrong tools for the job, but everybody can relate to an extent, because when you're in a hole, sometimes you keep digging, and sometimes it's time to stop digging and just let things kind of calm down a bit, you know.
I think there's something seriously wrong with me.
Have you been to see a doctor?
How have you been since our last consultation? No problems, I presume. No more cocaine and chip suppers for Bruce, eh?
I was obviously really taken aback and intrigued by who this character was, and if there was any potential of him seeking redemption. But I mean, he's homophobic, he's racist, he's ageist, he's sexist, all these things, all these issues were raised from one script, and I thought that was a pretty fantastic way of drawing attention to political, social, artistic things just through one single character. And Irvine Welsh is a pretty damn cool guy, so it was a cool thing to read an adaptation of one of his scripts.
With regards to Bruce, it's seen from his point of view. One of his books. I know what you mean. With regards to the it's taken from Bruce's point of view. So for you, with preparation for your role, did you have to get to know Bruce more to be able to know how your character fits into the plot, really?
Certainly from the novel's perspective, your understanding it is all his point of view. But no, it's important for me to make Amanda Drummond a fully fleshed, heart-beating lady in her own right. So I definitely wanted her to be the angel versus the demon in a lot of ways. Not have any nothing to compromise her point of view.
Could go either way.
What was it about Filth that captured your attention in the first place?
I think what captured my attention with Filth was it was such an amazing, bold book, you know, such a mad book, and I'll never forget seeing the poster for the first time of the book with this pig's face with a policeman's hat on. I was so shocked to see it, and I kind of thought to myself, if I can make a movie that doesn't shock people but gives them a reaction, like I had a reaction to that poster, then I'll be happy to do that. So. And I think it's Irvine's best work in terms of novels. You know, I really do believe that. And it was the first one I'd ever read of his. So that was all the things that attracted me to it. And also they said it was an unfilmable novel, and I didn't think it was. You know, I thought it was a fascinating character, and fascinating characters are always cinematic. You know, so all those ingredients made it to me something that I wanted to get my teeth into.
And with Bruce's character, the film is seen from Bruce's point of view. So how much of actually getting to know the character did you have to do to be able to get the proper picture of the film?
Yeah, I think that when Irvine was writing a book, he kind of became Bruce in a way, and I think same when I was writing the screenplay and directing it, and James a bit as well, just a tiny bit. You had to have a little bit of understanding of the character. Even the crew, we kind of all got Bruced in a way when we're making this film. We all went slightly bonkers, and I think you had to get this material. And we only wanted people to work in this movie if they understood the material and they loved the material. So it is important to do it, to empathise with him, because he's very complex. So I think you're right. There was an element of that going on.
And with regard to the cast as well, this is your second feature film, and you've got just an immense talent behind you. Was that quite intimidating?
I don't think it was intimidating to have a big cast. I think it was inspiring, because what happens is if you get your script as solid as you can before you start working with the actors, when you go into rehearsals, if they're happy with the material and they're happy and they're not challenging you every 2 seconds to say, we don't like this, we don't like that, then they just make you look better, But the important thing is getting the script right, fine-tuning it in rehearsals. It's an old-fashioned way. It's kind of like a theatre production. Get on there, shoot the film. Everybody, knows what they're doing, because we didn't have time to mess about in sets. We didn't have a big budget. So it was a big learning curve for me to do it. Get the script right, and then your rehearsals will just be fine-tuned.
Were you working very closely with Irvine as well on fine-tuning the script? And it must be difficult to kind of dismantle the book to bring in just what's necessary to tell a story for a screenplay.
No, Irvine never actually worked on a script. Irvine said to me, look, I've tried to do it before with previous work, and it didn't work. So he left me to get on with it, which was nice of nice of him. And he just said, look, deliver me the script, and so that was a nerve-wracking experience. And when I sent it to him, he said, don't change a word, it's great. So that was very nice of him to say, and he's been supportive since day one. The guy has,
I find all this just a little bit sorted.
What a script, yeah.
What did you think when you first read it?
I thought, what a script, and I thought it was one of the best things that I'd ever read, and to this day it still is, and that's really unusual. And I think when scripts like that come along, actors just tend to throw themselves at the project, and it really was a case of just bringing it to life and letting it breathe. There wasn't much else we had to do. A lot of the time you're working with dodgy materials, it's a case of finding something on the day or hoping that you do. With this, it was all there.
Can I just have a glass of water? Not at all. I've got something else in mind for you.